Okay, and we're live.
Excellent. So people can hear us now.
Yes.
All
In
right.
a few seconds, they will.
Okay. I'm Charles Epting from HR Harmer in New York City,
I'm Michael Cortese of Noble Spirit in Pittsfield, New Hampshire.
and we have a special guest with us for this live stream, but probably recognizable to everybody watching. Why don't you introduce yourself nonetheless?
Hi, everyone. My name is Graham. I make videos on YouTube, exploring stamps videos. I've been doing so since 2016. And I've had the pleasure of speaking with you guys on a couple different occasions now. Once as, conversations with Philatelists, and then you guys showed up on my channel not too long ago. So
I feel like we should just keep returning the favor, keep bouncing back and forth, and you'll never know.
I'll pencil you in then.
Honestly, Graham, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah.
People who have heard this before, this started a little more than a month ago. It's Michael's and mine's chance to just sort of discuss the previous week's news, the next week's news, and we figured rather than just an echo chamber of me and Michael, we'd bring in a third voice. So it's fun to have you on with us.
Terrific. Wonderful to be here. Thank you.
So
Awesome.
who wants to kick things off? Michael, you.
Why don't we address Graham first? So, Graham, you season 4 of Exploring Stamps just kicked off last week, right?
Yeah, it was exciting. So I thought, why not? Let's do it again. It's been almost a year since season 3 ended, and I've learned a lot in this last year. A lot has been thrown our way. Every online philatelic, in every aspect of online philately has been thrown our way. And also I've learned a lot from speaking to different people, as well as enhancing my video skills and my editing skills and learning about how to tell stories better and all that. So I thought, let's do another season. Going to be a heck of a lot slower than the other season.
I feel like everyone's been talking about the return of Gossip Girl, but I've been more excited about the return of Exploring Stamps, to be honest. I'm much more excited to see this make a comeback. And I can't wait to see what you've got in store. Some of my favorite YouTube channels, yourself and a couple of others, as the seasons go on, they slow down, but the production quality and the research and what goes into every episode, they become more and more like little documentaries. And I'm excited to see where you take season 4 as we move forward.
Absolutely. I think it's a trend that you can apply to any aspect of YouTube channels. Yeah. As you start off, you're a little unsure of yourself. You start trying, experimenting, and as time goes by, you start to hone in on what people like, what you're good at. You get to be a better, speaker. You also get to be a better understander of the subject and convey information. So it's evolution, and that's why I also encourage other people out there to try a YouTube channel. If you're really into philately and you want to go ahead and start expressing yourself and showing your learnings and all that, go make a podcast or a YouTube channel or anything, and really start at the beginning. Don't worry about focusing on getting it really, honed in on the quality. Just start, and the quality will come with it.
Now, you talk about how this is sort of a natural evolution. 2 of my favorite YouTube channels have recently released full-length films as a natural evolution of their channel. Do you ever see a full-length Exploring Stamps film?
On the History channel.
That would be amazing. That would be amazing.
You could take a topic and run with it for 90 minutes or so. I think you could. I see that in your future. I'm not sure where your priorities are, but again, I'm calling for it.
It's totally possible, because some of these videos have even reached the 45-minute barrier. So it's
at that point, why not?
At some point, when do you just slap on the title movie? It's broken the hour. We're going for hey, it's absolutely possible. Nothing in the near future, but like you said, but philately is so rich that you could really make. I mean, I've even spoken about the possibility of doing more continuous series. Like you could do a mini series on something, and I almost experimented with that. The Tin Can Mail. I did a part 1 and a part 2, but like you could all of a sudden do a 6-episode mini series on a war, and you can just knock it out with philately. There's so much you can do with this hobby.
Yeah. Yeah. Look behind the scenes, if I can ask. So, do you do the episodes? Are all of season is all of season 4 already completed, or are you doing
No,
it
so yes, actually, it's kind of good that I can show you this angle then. So, and this is why it's going to take a while. Season 3, I pulled out all the stamps over a weekend, and I organized them and I researched them, and some I had to put back in the box because I was like, I'm not doing, that's too close to that subject. Or I've now pulled out 8 US stamps. I got to put these back. So, but this time I actually only pulled out 4 stamps. Mm-hmm. And one of which was the Egyptian stamp. And so I decided to run with that one. The other 3, I mean, these are the little cubby holes here.
Yeah.
So I place the stamp in each of them. And then, of course, I go on an eBay and elsewhere binge, trying to source all sorts of stamps. And as they arrive over a 3, 4, 5 week period, mm-hmm. I keep adding them to the right cubbyhole. And then when the time comes for me to do a proper research and script, I pull them all out and start working on it. So, I mean, the sourcing piece of it, the procurement piece of it, is what usually makes the episode take so long to create.
Yeah.
That's the fun part, though.
Yeah. It is the fun part. Like, yeah, I'll buy that. I'll buy that. I'll buy that.
And you can justify it because it's for research. It's
you can write it off.
It's not that you want to buy it; you have to buy it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's critical. We've got it.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, again, Michael and I can't wait, and we're excited to see what you have in store. Egypt was fantastic, and this is exciting.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
So, do you want to kick off the next piece of news?
So,
we got a couple things.
We have a couple things we're going to talk about. One thing I saw on Instagram this morning when I log on, I love when stamps fill up my Instagram feed. I saw that the Spellman Museum, which Michael is familiar with, obviously, is hosting their annual Symposium webinar with the subject War and Innovations, a Postal Perspective. This is on Thursday, September 9th. It is from 8 to 10 p.m., so perfect timing for people on the West Coast as well. And the talks are going to be Colonial Wars Leading to the American Revolution, presented by Dr. Tim O'Connor. The Siege of Paris, 1870 to 71, presented by Stephen C. Walsky, one of the greatest living postal historians. Medical Aspects of the Spanish-American War by Yamil Khoury. And you can register to receive complimentary access links. I will read the email, but it would probably be better if people go on the the Spellman Museum website, but jlchase333@outlook.com. And the symposium is being supported by the Collectors Club of New York and Noble Spirit. So figured I would plug this. Looks like a lot of fun. 3 great talks, 3 different aspects of how war and conflict led to postal innovations. And this is one I know that I'm going to be logging on to, especially because it doesn't fall during the workday, which is nice.
So I have 2 jumping off points there. I'm trying to decide which one to go with. Is it the I'll go you mentioned the Collectors Club. So
yes,
the Collectors Club of New York, they're celebrating their 125th anniversary, and they're planning a 2-day festival on November 10th and 11th. So Collectors Club, they have their clubhouse at 22nd East, 22 East 35th Street in New York City. Charles, I'm sure you're very familiar with them.
I was there 2 or 3 days ago.
Yeah. So John W. Scott started the Scott's Catalog, and album was one of the founding members. And this comes from Lynn Stamp News. Jay Bugalki actually wrote this
about the open house.
About the open
festival?
house, yeah. So November 10th and 11th.
Why, if you guys are free, why don't the 3 of us plan on meeting up there?
That would be phenomenal. I've been to the Collectors Club once.
Oh, you have?
Just once. When was that? I went down. I saw you at the same time, Charles, but we weren't really as.
That's right. We weren't podcast co-hosts yet.
Yeah, we weren't podcast. I came down for a comedy show, and
Do you want to tell everyone
visited
who it
H.R.
was?
Harmer. It was Mike Birbiglia. I'm a big fan of Mike.
I thought it was
Birbiglia.
Jerry Seinfeld. That was a different trip to New
That
York.
was a different trip. Yeah.
And Graham, you've never been to the building before, is that correct?
I've never been. I've never even walked past. But I mean, I've been in New York City a number of times, but I've never been past this.
It's
You know.
I as anybody who watched our walkthrough of our offices, I'm an architecture freak.
Yeah.
And this was a Stanford White design building. I think it was constructed as like a townhome, one of these, you wonder how any family could live in something like this because it's just so over the top. But it was built in the 1890s. By 1937, I want to say, they were looking to sell. And it was, don't quote me on this, but I believe it was Alfred Lichtenstein and Theodore Steinway who basically fronted the money for the Collectors Club to buy the building in the 30s.
Oh, wow.
And it's been the nucleus of philatelic culture in New York ever since. It's where auctions have been held, lectures have been presented, and it is just the grandest, most beautiful building. You feel like you're stepping into a time machine when you go inside. The furniture, the wallpaper, everything. It's from another era.
Yeah, I was going to mention the furniture.
Yeah, it's spectacular. I mean, then again, our hobby is as great as it is to be able to chat on Zoom. Our hobby's from another era, so it's. It's fitting, and this open house is going to be great. And again, I hope I can see both you gentlemen there.
Yeah, that would be. I'd love to make it down for that. The November 10th and 11th. What actual days are those? That's Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah. Wednesday.
That'll be fun. I'm glad that again. Their online presentations have been phenomenal. I think what the Collectors Club has done, and we talked to Larry Haber about that. But I'm about ready to see people in person again.
Well, you're going to soon, right? West Pex and
West Becks in Chicago,
like in 2 weeks.
Yeah, don't remind me. Can I tell a quick story about the last time I was at the Collectors Club for a social function?
Yeah.
But I was living in New Rochelle at the time, which was one of the hot zones of COVID. That was one of the first, sort of crucibles. And I had gotten lunch with Elliot Gruber from the National Postal Museum, and there was an event at the Collectors Club that evening. And there were these murmurs about COVID-19. It was, nobody really knew anything. And I went to the Collectors Club and I saw a stamp dealer who also lived in New Rochelle, good friend of mine. And I went over to him, stuck out my hand to shake it. And he goes, no, elbows.
Yeah.
And I said, what the heck are you doing? Elbows. What do you mean?
That was your first elbow experience?
That was my first elbow. I said,
Wow.
I said, you're crazy. He goes, haven't you heard about this thing in New Rochelle? I said, I've heard a little bit of news about it. I said, I've been so busy with auction, I haven't really followed much of what's going on. He goes, trust me, we're going to be doing this for a long time. And I said, you're crazy. You're crazy. Yeah. And here we are a year and a half later. So, the Collectors Club was my first elbow experience.
My first mask experience, when I saw somebody wearing a mask, was in the post office.
Really?
And I looked at this person, I'm like, dude, what are you doing? What are you doing? 3 days later.
And the joke is on us.
Yeah.
But no, it'll be fun to get back to the Collectors Club. I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah. So I saw a tweet from you earlier, Graham, saying that you unfortunately wouldn't be able to make the Chicago show.
Yeah, I won't, unfortunately. My job is comes first,
those
apparently.
pesky jobs, right?
Yeah.
I don't
But
know
you're going to be
about
at Stampex in September?
So that's the gamble. I'm gambling with international policy and COVID. So basically, I've booked flight tickets to get there, but there's still a 10-day quarantine, which was completely.
So you not only get Stampex, you get a 10-day London vacation out of it as well.
I would probably just it's a 10-day joyride to and from the hotel in London. Yeah. But I mean, we've got to see, and of course, it's looking very shaky. Like it was supposed to be released this 10-day quarantine early summer. We're now getting into summer quite further. I'm hearing rumors in the fall, but now you got this Delta variant, so this might just be nothing at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But,
At the very least, will you be at Nojex?
that is possible. That is possible.
Home state show.
Home state show up at the Meadowlands. Yeah, I've been there twice, so that is very possible. Yeah.
Excellent.
At the very least.
When is Nojex?
Nojex is in November, October.
Okay.
I think it's end of October.
October this year.
I feel like it's always October or something.
Okay.
And then you've got Naples. It's going to be, I feel like everyone's trying to squeeze in their shows for the back half of the year. You've got San Diego, you've got Virginia, you've got Nojex. It's going to be, it's going to be wild.
Yeah. I'd still love to come down and take the train to Virginia with you, Charles.
We've got to do that. We've got to do that. But Graham, we will hopefully see you at a show before the year is out.
Yes.
We're gonna
absolutely.
We're gonna find a way.
We'll make our own show. We'll do it. We'll all meet and get a tent, and we'll call it a show. That's it.
I think it takes 3 to make a stamp show. That
was the rules I read in FIP.
That's a quorum, I believe.
Right. So Charles, I saw this thing on Facebook. It was kind of making the rounds. I believe this was posted on the American Topical Association Facebook page. So let me screen share with you this item now it's not a new issue currently. I guess it was released in 2017, but I hadn't seen it before. So I'm going to just share with you from Mike to pause, I believe. This made me think of you because you're such a film buff, silent history era.
Michael,
issued by Spain.
You've said France several times.
I did say France several times. Yeah.
I think that España is.
Yeah, I did say France several times. I've just found this
this
few
looks like
seconds
it's
ago.
printed on celluloid.
Yeah,
it
This is
does. It's
fascinating.
completely transparent.
And these were probably issued for postal use, not for collectors, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
I've never seen this, but I'm fascinated by it. And Michael, my thing for old film. I recently bought the Charlie Chaplin new issue of France.
Yeah.
One of the first.
That's probably why I
foreign
kept
new
saying
issues.
France.
Yeah, that's one of the first foreign new
that's
issues I've bought in some time. But this is spectacular.
Yeah, this made me think of you when I saw it on Facebook the other day.
Is that a fish on the stamp?
It kind of looks like it, doesn't it?
I think that's a sardine. This is when I wish my 4 or 5 years of Spanish had stuck with me. Because I'm sure somebody listening can translate better. But that is a fascinating stamp. I might have to track one of those down.
Right? I've never even seen that issue before. Not even in a modern book or anything like that.
No. Even in a collection that's coming, I've never seen one of those.
I've never seen it. Pretty interesting. Looks like it's commemorating a film festival from 1998.
I like that. I'm going to track one of those down next time I'm going to show.
Yeah.
Something else that we want to mention, and he may be listening. Hopefully he's listening. But there is an APS stamp chat coming up that I don't want to miss. Not that there's many that I want to miss.
Well, stamp chats are on their way back. They're coming.
Exactly. They're coming back with more stamp chats. And this one, July 22nd, is Kurt Streepy, who, again, he's a listener. He's commented before during the live streams. Super nice guy. We know him from Twitter as well. Just all around, really like him. And he's giving a talk on Canal Zone overprints on stamps of Panama and the United States, the Taft Agreement. Possessions are a hot market. Possessions are a fascinating field. I love U.S. possessions. We've handled a lot of Canal Zone, Philippines. I can't wait to hear this talk because by a certain point, we started printing our own stamps for the Canal Zone that were new designs for the Canal Zone. But for this lengthy period, we would just take whatever Panama stamps, whatever U.S. stamps, and just print the words Canal Zone over them. And again, Kurt's stamp chat should be really interesting. Again, this will be July 22nd. You can register now through the APS website or the APS social medias. Have the link. But I know that I will be there for Kurt's stamp chat.
Yeah. Looking forward to that.
Me as well. The second I saw that on Twitter, I think he announced it on Twitter. I was like,
there's certain subjects where it's just like, yep, that's a no-brainer. I'm going to be there.
Yeah. Especially when I know nothing about it. Then I'm like, okay, that's like uncharted territory, right?
What I like too is I know the stamps and I go through a collection and I see it in terms of what's a single lot, what's worth something. But you lose the historical context sometimes when you're just looking at the Scott catalog listings. Oh, this issue came after this issue. You sort of look at it just in terms of the stamps without without any of that historical context. And that's what I'm excited because then the next time I look at a Canal Zone collection after that, it's like, oh, now I know why instead of it just being what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, they're definitely a great addition to the hobby. These stamp chats.
Yep.
Very informative.
And again, certain topics I personally get very excited about.
Speaking of the APS, they just yesterday, I believe, posted on their stamps.org in their news section, they announced the winners for the Luff Awards. So the Luff Awards are available annually for distinguished philatelic research, exceptional contributions to philately, outstanding service to the American Philatelic Society. And they just announced the winners who will be signing the scroll at the Great American Stamps Show. So for distinguished philatelic research, we have Dr. Ronald Lesher. Their bios are very long, so
I can tell you in a nutshell, Ron is one of the gurus of revenue stamps. He has everything, or he's written about everything.
Yeah.
A lot of state revenue research as well. Ron is a wealth of information, incredibly generous with his knowledge. I've picked his brain about stuff before, but just encyclopedic when it comes to revenue stamps.
Yeah. And then exceptional contributions to philately is Daryl Ertzberger. I believe that's how you pronounce that. Exhibitor since 1982. APS and ATA accredited philatelic judge since 89. FIP juror since 2006. So I recommend going to the APS website to read the enormous bios of these highly accredited people. And an outstanding service to the American Philatelic Society is Alfredo. Forgive me for the pronunciation.
Is it Alfredo Froelich?
Froelich, thank you so much. Yes,
one of my favorite people, one of the nicest people in this hobby. I remember I was at Sarasota a year before last and got lunch with a couple of people, including Eric Jackson and Alfredo, and it was one of the most fun meals. We got ice cream afterwards. Alfredo is just salt of the earth. His dedication to the APS is remarkable, and what a great guy he is.
Yeah, so those three gentlemen will be signing the scroll of distinguished philatelists for the Luff Awards at the Great American Stamp Show.
Obviously, Daryl's a great exhibitor. That's a name you want to see, and judge and everything. Alfredo and Ron, what a 3 for 3. Not that the Luff Awards aren't always 3 for 3, but man, that's right. That's a great lineup right there. Those are 3 very deserving candidates.
And the final thing I have, which the three of us kind of chatted briefly right before we started before I hit the live button, is Siegel's U.S. stamps sale next week, July 20th, 21st. They're selling the famed vacuum cleaner, Jenny. Graham, you said position
78, I think, right?
78, yeah. I'm looking at it now. For having been inside of a vacuum cleaner, it doesn't look very much worse for wear.
I can do it. I can screen share.
Yeah, it's been repaired.
Yeah.
So
the fact that it's been repaired probably looks nicer than a lot of the sound examples. It's the best thing that ever happened.
You can kind of see, the corner there.
Yeah. No, look
incredible.
At that. That's it's a gorgeous, and it's sort of like the Locket copy as well. The famed Locket copy, which is damaged for having been sandwiched into a locket. But you want the ones with the story, I think. If you're not going to get one like the graded 90 or 95s, like the one they sold at New York 2016, I'd want one with a backstory, like the Locket, like the vacuum.
Well, because it's one of the first ones you hear about. I mean, it was definitely when I started first. Yeah.
Yeah, there's 100 of them, and one of them got sucked up into a vacuum cleaner.
It's amazing. So the vacuum cleaner, you think adds value to it?
I would say, provenance.
Well, and you look at Zollner, Ambassador, Southgate. This has a heck of a provenance outside of the vacuum cleaner story.
Yeah.
This is a very storied stamp, and
almost looks like a thumbprint on the back.
What is the estimate on it?
Estimate is
400 and something, isn't it?
It just says 450 is
450
the catalog value. Oh no, that's a different one. I was gonna say.
To show you what kind of collector Zollner was. He was before my time, but he had this one, and then decided to upgrade with position 58. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he couldn't settle for this one.
Yeah.
No, I can't wait to see how this does. Really
Yeah.
can't wait.
This is
will be
lot
fun.
541 for anyone interested in bidding.
Yep. Probably have to pre-register, do a little credit check, but I can't wait to watch this.
Yeah.
Michael,
oh, sorry, Charles.
no, you go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say it's an exciting looking sale altogether, but that that kind of tied it up.
Absolutely. I was going to ask if I could screen share for a second.
Oh, of course. Can you?
No. Will you let me?
Now
And while you do that, I also wanted to mention the APS Stamp Chat is 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern on the 22nd.
Kurtz.
Kurtz, yes. Yeah. So I just wanted to mention the time because I forgot to do that. I'm going to screen share really quickly, though. On the opposite end of the spectrum, if you have the vacuum inverted Jenny on the one hand,
mm-hmm.
You also have these.
This is my price range. Yes.
So these are being issued 1 week from today on the 23rd. And I just wanted to get you guys' take on these.
I like these.
I like them. I like the design.
I do too.
I don't know
Western wear is one of those subjects that you hear, and I think a lot of people might roll their eyes. It's like when they do ice cream cones or something like that. May not seem all that significant, but I think they hit this design out of the park.
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
I think this is obviously, paying a lot of homage and tribute to classic Western aesthetic.
Yeah.
And I think the black background or dark gray background, whatever that is, really kicks this up a notch. I think this is going to pop on an envelope.
Are these just in booklets or are they in panes as well? Or
I believe they're just in booklets. You can tell by looking at the
book of
program.
20. That's the only option.
Double-sided pane of 20, exactly. Cowboy hat, belt buckle, cowboy boot, and Western style shirt. These are being issued in Abilene, Texas. Yeah. And I can't wait for these. I think these are good-looking stamps.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll probably.
So they don't issue imperf variety booklet panes. So because I know the people have really been going crazy over those imperf forever stamps.
There are people who know more about this than I do. But can I show you something really quick?
You can try.
Okay, I'll be right back. So I'm not gonna be able to hear you guys for a moment.
Okay. But have you heard about that, Graham? I mean,
no, I haven't. No,
Wayne Youngblood had a like a 3-page long article on his journey just trying to buy imperf panes of, I think, the Star Wars series in the Philatelic Explorer in the UK. It was it's an interesting journey because there's so many people who want the imperf booklets, or not booklets, the panes, the mini sheets, but they don't issue enough of them. So the prices for them have been like double face value or triple face, and they find a lot of people buying them and then just reselling them online for double, triple the value immediately. Yeah.
Speaking of all this, one of my favorite recent. So, and somebody also asked in the comments if we could talk about what we. Before we move on.
Oh yeah, Western wear is going to be theme of Expo 2021 held in Grapevine, Texas in November.
I want to get to Texas in November.
Yeah,
let's add that to the agenda. So
busy schedule.
Alan said, "What are you most passionate about?" My thing, as I'm sure a lot of people know, is the Great Depression, the New Deal, Franklin Roosevelt's relief programs in response to the economic crisis in the 1930s.
Do you have a sheet there? An NRA sheet?
No. No.
Okay.
Cool. I think it's kind of cooler.
Okay.
So one of my favorite recent stamp issues were the WPA posters that came out in 2017, I want to say, 2018. Okay. But they did 10 posters. The WPA had an arts program because Roosevelt didn't just want to employ manual laborers. He wanted artists to be employed as well. So they had a theater program, music program, art program that designed these posters, which are incredibly beautiful, very stylized, very Art Deco-y. And the USPS decided to issue a set of 10 WPA posters as a booklet a couple of years ago. This was during that gap when they weren't doing the imperforate press sheets. They were just doing the perforate press sheets. So they did do a perforated press sheet of the WPA booklets, which I still have in its mailing tube because I don't really know what to.
So is that a lot, or is that your item? Is that
This
your?
is mine.
That's yours.
I
That you
bought
just
this
keep in
when
the
I bought this when the
auction.
stamps came out.
Okay, so you keep it.
I keep it in my
in your
office.
Okay.
If it was in my house, it would get
From the
lost.
other lots. Yeah, the
Exactly. So this is an imperforate
Look at that.
Wow.
press sheet of booklets. So what's interesting is you can see there's two. Well, actually, it's easier to see from this side. It's 2 booklets high.
Oh,
So they print them
okay.
2 booklets high, and then they slice them down the middle. So
Yeah.
even though this is not an imperforate press sheet,
Yeah.
there are imperforate between pairs.
Interesting.
Ah,
So does Scott value those imperf pairs differently than the regular?
I
don't
without
know?
off the top of my head, I think they footnote them.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not sure that they
Because those are
list them.
probably pretty
But-
scarce.
They and you can create weird sorts of gutter pairs and all sorts
Yeah.
of cool. I think they look gorgeous. If it wasn't double sided, I would probably just frame this.
Yeah.
Or I have to get a second one, I guess.
Or you know what you could do is you could hang it from the ceiling, get a mirror
yeah.
on each side. So
Yeah. No, but what's
just hang
really
it from
cool.
the ceiling fan.
What's really cool, so you can see where they Michael, that's not a not a good idea. But where they would cut the booklets here,
Yeah.
that's an imperforate block of 4 with the
Huh.
same stamp twice.
Yeah, yeah.
So long story short, I presume this might be what happens with the Western wear.
They do the same thing.
Exactly. I think
Yeah.
if you bought so I'm not sure if they're doing the imperf completely, but
Yeah.
with booklet paints, you can oftentimes create weird, fun.
Interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
So-
And Kurt actually said somebody mailed eBay lots using imperfect pairs, which those things just don't really exist.
Yeah.
Mint, they do really well. Yeah, I'll hang on to them used. But anyways, that's my fun show and tell for the day is my uncut booklet sheet.
So did you buy that directly from the USPS website?
I bought that the day the stamps came out from the USPS website.
From the okay. So yeah.
That stamp issue, even though it's a modern issue, I'm thinking about putting together an exhibit someday. I've got the ceremony program. I've got an invitation to the first day ceremony.
Oh, nice.
All sorts of unofficial first day covers that I made. I went to the post office and just stamped anything that wasn't nailed down.
Anything
I was
that
put a
moved,
stamp
yeah.
on it and cancel it. So someday I would love to do a WPA poster single frame exhibit. It will be lucky to score bronze, seeing as the stamps are younger than my career in this hobby. But I think it would still be a fun little project.
Mhm. Yeah. Awesome. Graham, have you ever thought of doing like an exhibit on the items that you've featured in your seasons?
I thought about it, but I don't have enough knowledge in that exhibiting space to put anything together. And technically, each video is an exhibit. So the amount of effort I put into each video. So I could actually transform it into something.
Yeah.
But no, I've never been in the exhibiting space at all.
It might be kind of fun to do a page for each episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could definitely do it with the items I have, with the research I've done. I could absolutely do that. Yeah.
So have you kind of kept and memorialized the items for each episode? So as you do an episode, do you kind of like put it in all the items you used for it in a lockbox and then just
Yeah, not a
season one,
lockbox.
so-
They're lying all over there. They're there. They're there.
They're not in the safety deposit box?
No, I should probably think about doing that. No, most of the items are inexpensive, but I thought about it, but haven't gone beyond that. I enjoy walking the exhibits though.
Yeah.
I love absorbing them and taking them in and learning from them. So that's the extent of my exhibit experience.
I think that just about we've gone 5 minutes over. I think that just about.
I'm sure people will complain that we've broken our self-imposed 30-minute.
Beyond the 30. Yeah.
Graham, thank you so much for joining us. Do you have anything that you want to say before we?
No, I mean, well, this was a pleasure. Thank you, gentlemen. And if anybody's watching that hasn't seen my channel, you can find me at exploringstamps.com, and there's all the links to my social media and my YouTube channel, or just go to YouTube and type in Exploring Stamps. I should be the first hit. I hope I am. And then
I think if you type in stamps in YouTube, you're probably the first.
I'm one of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
5, I think. But I think even you guys, us and Stanley Gibbons, and like we all nicely cover that big
Nice.
block. And just a quick thing on that. I was talking to the digital philatelists and the punk philatelists. We're playing around online, and we were talking about coin collecting. And Punk wrote about this briefly. But when we searched for coin collecting, it was awful on YouTube. It was it was misery. Why is this hobby dying? This is why. 5 reasons why. These coins are terrible. And then we typed in philately. It was fun. It was you guys, me, Stanley Gibbons. Why this stamp is awesome. Let's explore this. Top 10 favorite things and so on. So I just let you guys know that's
fantastic.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant. We have the right energy going on with the hobby, so keep it up.
Well, and you mentioned digital and punk. Michael, we should have them on for a live stream. And Graham, if you'd ever join us again, every couple of weeks, we should work one of you guys into the mix to join us.
Yeah. No, but I find that super interesting, Graham. The difference in mentality there, because I always talk to people who think the coin hobby is absolutely booming, and then
that's the thing, is that for the longest time, I used to think that coin collecting was doing it right and philately was behind.
Yeah.
I always thought that because I saw stuff on even TV. They're selling coins on my TV, like, QVC stuff. And I'm like, I never see stamps and stuff. But I think in the last 4 years, we are setting an example that is very hard to follow and is exciting. So, and it's not just us, it's our viewers that are buying into this, that are sharing, that are, in taking part, that are commenting, all of it.
The positivity you see across the board on Twitter, on YouTube, on Instagram. It's
all avenues.
Yep. No, I agree. I'm glad we're, I feel like we're on the right track too. I think you're spot on.
Yeah.
Great. Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that. That's pretty eye-opening. But thank you so much, Graham. I think that's,
I think that does it.
Joining us.
Yeah, we'll be back. We'll be back again with another live stream next week. We've got another episode of CWP dropping Monday with a really interesting guest. And Graham, thank you. We'll talk to you soon again. Hopefully at a show or certainly via text or Twitter. We'll talk to you again in the coming days, I'm sure.
And good luck on the rest of season 4.
Thank you. I'll keep you updated.
All right. Great. Thanks.